Jon Jones has once again called out Tom Aspinall, but this time he wants the fight to take place on the biggest stage imaginable, the White House. And the MMA community is going absolutely crazy over it.
Is Jon Jones retired? Is he fighting again?
I don't want to say that I'm retired because fighting's in my blood.
I mean, what has changed in 2 weeks' time? Of course, Trump talking about a fight at the White House.
We're going to have a UFC fight. Think of this on the grounds of the White House.
Yeah, okay, maybe maybe that's it. I don't think it is that. I do think that he would want to fight at the White House, and I'm sure that every single fighter is going to want to do that. A lot of them are raising their hands. Conor McGregor's put his hand up. Michael Chandler's interested. Sean Strickland's definitely going to want to be there. Mr. 1770.
That looks at Jones and Conor are suddenly interested in being there. I mean, Conor had a massive PR pop when he arrived in the White House on Patrick's Day, and kind of became the catalyst for this political career he's embarking on. So, I mean, it would be a huge, huge deal. It kind of reminds me in theory. Do you remember Eddie Hearn was doing those matchroom cards out his back garden?
Oh, yeah.
Like in the middle of Essex. Yeah. It kind of reminds me of that, but could you imagine what that would look like just in terms of a spectacle? Like, we talk about the spectacle of the sphere and stuff. Do you imagine that, like the White House in the background with the octagon?
Oh my God. Well, just the symbolism of, about 30 years ago, the sport being banned in the vast majority of this country, and then it's just like Florida and New Jersey. And then of course it's Nevada. And I mean, 10 years ago, it was still banned in New York. And to think that 10 years later, actually the symbolism of him being elected the same week as the first show at MSG, 10 years later, an actual event at the White House is pretty insane. And now, of course, everyone's trying to figure out, I mean, they even got odds, who's the most likely. Who knows? Who knows what the sport looks like? Who knows what anyone looks like a year from now?
Hang on. Jon Jones says he wants to come back. There's one fucking fight to make.
Can I just... why? Because it's the American versus the Brit.
Well, that's what... Who said that in the message group? Was it Jordan? That was like suggesting it should be a Brit against the USA? Come on, that's perfect.
Only weeks after officially retiring from the sport, Jon Jones is already back online discussing a potential fight with Tom Aspinall at a Trump-hosted UFC event that's reportedly being organized in Washington, D.C. While the idea might sound like a dream matchup for casual fans, within hardcore MMA circles it feels like another slap in the face to Aspinall, and yet another chapter in a saga that has already dragged on for far too long.
As just a fighter here, if it was so public, for me personally, I don't know if my ego could take it, having not done it. But that's honestly, that's his prerogative. I don't hold any ill will against him for it. And I'm happy to move on with my career now that it's over, because you got to remember, I've not fought for nearly a year now because of this. So I'm glad that is behind us now.
Do you, in part, I guess, take this as a bit of a compliment that there was such huge public pressure for him to fight you, and actually the route that he chose was to retire instead of fighting you? I mean, that's quite a compliment for someone of Jon Jones' stature.
I try not to let my ego take control of me. I could see why people would think that, but to me, it's just like, maybe when I've retired, when I've retired myself, which is not going to happen in the next couple of years at least, I'll think about that kind of stuff. But
there's no way on earth that he's going to fight me. Not a chance. I will retire Jon Jones without even fighting him.
Jon Jones called us last night and retired. Jon Jones is officially retired. Tom Aspinall is the heavyweight champion of the UFC.
Tom Aspinall carried the division on his back. He defended an interim belt he never wanted, stayed in shape, trained like a champion, and kept quiet while the UFC waited on Jon Jones to make a decision. When Jones finally retired, it felt like closure for the division. Now, only weeks later, Jones is back and suddenly ready to fight, but only on his own terms. Fans are split right down the middle. Some are excited about the possibility of such a massive moment, while others see it as damage control, a publicity stunt meant to shift the narrative after months of ducking, delays, and wasted opportunities.
That I'm looking for. What's the word that I'm looking for? Is egomaniac the word?
Like me, you call me an egomaniac?
You just left. You just left. And now, and even as recently as this morning, right? Didn't you have a tweet as recently as this morning teasing us? It feels nice to be the hunter and not the hunted for once. By the way, if this is in fact true, why did you give up the belt months ago so that you could feel this way? And oh, by the way, when you gave up the light heavyweight title, you were the quote unquote the hunter for 3 years. He gave up the light heavyweight title in the midst of the pandemic, and then they had the vacant title. Like, it's not like a completely foreign thing. And oh, by the way, he was stripped of the belt, and Daniel Cormier was the champion. So this idea that he's never been the hunter is ludicrous. But you just left, man. Like, but you want us to keep talking about you. You want us to keep saying, oh, come back, don't come back, the big fight. This is the behavior of what? An egomaniac?
Yeah, but like, it's also like, you know, that kind of thing where you're saying like he could have vacated, like that's been the thing the whole time. I remember Rick kind of making the argument a lot where like Pereira is potentially a bigger fight than Aspinall. And what we were saying at that time was like, yeah, have at it. Just get rid of the belt then. Like that was always the easy solve to this. So it kind of plays into the argument that he just really didn't want that Aspinall smoke as well. You know, like the fact that he's suddenly like, oh, I'm available now all of a sudden. You're like, well, that kind of plays more into the idea.
They could book that fight tomorrow.
Oh, Tommy,
do it for October.
Well, now if we have it in the White House lawn, I think we should keep it in the back burner. You know what I mean? What could possibly go wrong with a fight that everyone wants to see in the UFC? Huh?
No, 100%. And John fighting at the White House would, make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, he's a squeaky clean kind of guy. He represents our country so well. Yeah, listen, Tom's squeaky clean. He'd be great representing. Is that the birth of the American nation? Was that you and the Brits?
1776, yeah.
Was you squaring off with the Brits and then you got rid of them and then you were...
Did Jon Jones in some way ruin a legacy that could have been the greatest in combat sports of all time?
And here's my answer to that. The only reason...
one of the best of all time.
Here's my answer to that. The only reason it's in danger of being tarnished is because he didn't take this fight. Because we haven't been thinking about the past transgressions. We would think about this fight. And the fact that he's not fighting this guy, and it's believed, like the great DC himself is saying, yo, he's walking away because he does not want to fight this guy. That's bad. Dana White came to me and told me, look, Aspinall wants that guy. I hadn't even heard of Aspinall. I watched him a couple of times.
If he's really retired as a fight fan, I'm sad. I'm glad I saw him fight at MSG.
Because I think he's the greatest. I think Jon Jones is the greatest.
Incredible watch. So if there's any chance he changes his mind, we'd all love to see him.
As you say, Molly, he's the greatest, but what are we talking about? Possibly, people are saying possibly is because he's ducking somebody. That's not good. That's not good.
Even Tom Aspinall's reaction said a lot. In recent interviews, he made it clear that he isn't focused on gimmicks and is simply preparing for whoever the UFC puts in front of him, whether that's Cyril Gane, Alexander Volkov, or even Sergey Pavlovich, with the possibility of a future super fight against Alex Pereira.
The language Jones has been using from day one about Tom Aspinall. Why would I gamble my legacy on someone like him? Jon Jones, gamble. You win every fight, don't you? You're guaranteed to win every fight. You can beat anyone. Every fight, if you're the best fighting the best, is a bit of a gamble. But you're the heavyweight champion of the world. You're supposed to go on and do that. I've never ever known a champion who tells everyone how great they are and yet doesn't want to fight the best challenger. I tell a lie. Actually, I do remember one time, Tyson Fury, when he did not want to fight Alexander Usyk. Oh, he's not a big enough name. Oh, and he made all the excuses in the world. And guess what? Usyk beat him twice. And this is exactly why Jon Jones doesn't want to take that fight. Because he can see what the fuck is on the way. Jones spent the majority of his career as a heavyweight, boiling down to light heavyweight, beating guys who are actually middleweight.
When you're an interim champion, they only make an interim champion when the champion cannot defend the belt. So for Jon Jones, he couldn't defend the belt because he tore his pec muscle. So the interim champion means he should be fighting the champion right off the bat. That's not the case with Jon Jones, right? Because Jon Jones is going to fight Stipe Miocic. So the interim champion is supposed to sit there and wait. But by law, in like the regulations, once Jon Jones steps in the cage, he is stripped of his interim champion because the champion has returned. There is no longer for an interim champion. What is the point of having an interim champion when the champion is ready to fight?
This is the only sport in the world you can have somebody hold your career back.
Yep. I've been almost a year inactive with no prospects of anything. Just be ready and we'll just let you know.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of difficult, like mentally to, this is the fight against Jon Jones. Like, not the fight is another thing.
Yeah.
This is the tricky bit where I really have to stay switched on, stay motivated, and I'm trying my best. I'm trying. It's tough. As you said a minute ago, no one really knows what's going on behind the scenes apart from me.
Exactly. You're an office cooking.
I train all the time anyway. Just because I've not got a fight doesn't mean I don't train. Like, I honestly can see Jon's point of view. I get it.
Yep.
I get it. It's just about the title for me.
Yep.
I just want the title. That's it.
Yep.
Does nothing else really matter. So
You're like, let me do my thing. Let me fight.
I just want to fight.
And I think that's the respectful way to go about it. It's like,
managers in this sport have to keep their relationships with the UFC.
Yeah.
And it's a real problem, and there's many layers to this issue. Managers are afraid to back their fighters because of the repercussions on their relationships with the UFC, and it's all over the place. They will serve the UFC before they serve their fighters, as far as I'm concerned. But to see a guy with only one fighter and not have to worry about this at all, and just be like, do you know what? This was bullshit. You know, essentially just be like, this is not cool. I thought it was class. Do we have some quotes there on our John? I don't know if you put them up there. Oh, here we go. This is from the article up on Uncrowned. And believe me, this has nothing to do with me if this is a good article. I am just writing 50 words. Here's Andy. 50 words. Here's Andy. Here it is. I can't think of a worse way you could have done it. This is the announcement of Tom as the new champion. I don't know if pathetic is the word. I just feel they didn't think about it. I don't think Tom deserved to find out at a press conference in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
It's got a point.
It's poor man management of Jones and Tom. I like the personnel at the UFC, but for me, they just don't do things right sometimes.
I think he's right. Well, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
And here it is on Jones. Like, I mean, it just feels like he was knocking fucking home run balls out of the park. Like everything that everyone felt. Yeah. He's just like, and here's this one.
I know.
As soon as Jones got injured and said he needed a year off before he fought Stipe, he should have stepped aside then.
And what is now going to happen in your career going forward in the heavyweight division? All right. What are your feelings towards him?
First of all, thanks for keeping it short, because I have said that I'm not going to speak about it anymore. My feelings towards him, I just wish him all the best. Genuinely wish him all the best. If he feels satisfied with what he's done, which he's saying he is, and he's happy to leave like that, then I genuinely wish him all the best.
Do you think that is it?
I don't know him. Don't know him at all. Met him once. Don't know anything about him, so I don't know.
So it's short.
It was short and sweet, thank you.
No, but you can understand that has been quite a huge part of the narrative over the last 12 months, and a lot of fight fans will have their attitudes as to why that decision has been made and what have you. I kind of agree with you. At the end of the day, with the legacy that he's had and what he's done in the sport, he has the right to make a decision for himself. Personally, as a fight fan, I just wish that he'd done it a little bit earlier, so therefore we wouldn't have had that narrative over the last 12 months, because I can imagine it's been incredibly frustrating for you from a personal point of view and a professional point of view as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I feel like a broken record, I keep banging on, but all I wanted to do was fight. I just wanted to fight. I've not been to work, mate, for nearly a year. I know people see me online and doing all the rest of it, but my main job is fighting people. That's what I do. I've not done that for almost a year, and none of it has had anything to do with me.
Right, perfect. This is where I want to go with, okay, right? Because I think a lot of people have an understanding of you. I'd like to say that obviously we spent a bit of time, so I kind of like to get inside your head a little bit more and pick the little things that go on inside. How have you dealt with that? Because I remember speaking to you during the time that you were out injured with your knee. That was a tough challenge from a psychological point of view.
Yeah.
This is different, because when you're out with your knee, it's on me now. I'm going to get fit and get my knee back, and we're going to get rocking and rolling. The last 12 months hasn't been kind of on you. So how was that a different mental challenge?
And I can say this now that it's over, because the thing with me, when I'm in difficult situations, I try not to complain about it as much. This last year has been more difficult than the year I had out with the knee.
But one thing is clear, Tom Aspinall's era has officially begun, and Jon Jones may be trying either to hijack that moment or save face after stepping away from it. Now the UFC has a major decision to make. Will they reward the delays, or will they commit to the new generation that has kept the heavyweight division alive? At this point, it's no longer just about a fight. It's about control, legacy, and the future of the UFC's most dangerous division.